lives in the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine. When funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way. A bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt a fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we are back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm West. This guy is David. This guy over here you can't see is Matt Harmon. And we are here to drink beer and talk about business. I had nothing else planned, so that's all I said. Oh, you're drinking water. You're being good today, David. What's going on, man? That explains it. You got to hydrate when you're drinking bourbon. And more bourbon.
This is my favorite bourbon.
Eagle Rare is a good one.
You guys don't know is the 10-year Eagle Rare. So
that is good stuff.
That's my favorite. I stumbled into it the other day. They had 3 bottles on the shelf, but most places like most places that you can buy one. So I bought my one, and I'll probably go back tomorrow, seeing as how I'm back in town. I was in Vermont earlier today, the land of teddy bears, cheese, and maple syrup.
All things I like. Maybe not at the same time.
Yes.
But
so now I got to decide. So I got this lovely little glass here.
Okay.
That's made from a company named Cork Circle.
Is that a cigar going through the glass? I need.
That is the glass right there. And right there's a cigar that sets in the glass.
Is that so you can smoke and drink at the same time? Like
exactly. So you've got
right.
a spot. As you're out back, I used it the other day. I was out back by the pool, and I'm like, and I have a pretty strict rule about glass near the pool.
Sure.
I've got a glass bottle of bourbon, this glass out there, and a bowl out there with my ice cubes in it. And I was like, yeah, I'm setting a real bad example here.
Well, if you're an amputee, if you have one hand or one arm, I mean, it's really helpful. I get it. Like Captain Hook would love
and the biggest here's the biggest use I found for it so far. It helps you take some pretty cool pictures.
So he's had a pool for a year.
Yeah.
A year, and he's already settled into it that much.
Yeah. He's
I don't like glass around my pool.
I would rephrase that as, I don't want to slice on my foot.
Oh, okay. There it is.
I mean, fair point. I can agree with both sides. But David, back in the day when you were growing up around a pay lake, would you have minded a little broken glass in your foot when you're taking a dip in the pond?
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a time I was like, damn, man, I really wish I had more glass in my feet right now.
You know what? I've had those days. I've been in some meetings where I'm like, I would rather walk through broken glass. So
now that wasn't the question
there.
you asked.
Fair point.
Because if that's the question, then yes, it was something. There have been days.
Well, we non-big city New York guys are.
I live in hillbilly land, right?
Big city.
Suburbs of Syracuse, poser.
Syracuse? Do you live in Syracuse?
I call him a poser.
So we here in back in good old Ohio are drinking Knocktoberfest, one of my favorite breweries.
Oh, nice! I love Nocterra, and that's good because I'm actually coming in this weekend. So
yeah,
we need to get some more. I'm not threatening you with a knife to bring me beer. I got it for some reason it won't open without me cutting this open. So we need to make sure we have some of that beer on hand.
Good. Yeah. From Nocterra Brewing Company here in Central Ohio, Knocktoberfest, because it is of course Oktoberfest season. Thank goodness. They also have the pumpkin beers out right now, but I can't have pumpkin beers before I have my Oktoberfests.
See, I have noticed that this year more than I have, and I've paid attention for a few years now about sell cycles and things of that nature when products get released.
Yeah.
This year, the sell cycle has been insane.
Oh man, there's already Christmas stuff out.
We have Christmas stuff out. We've got at the local Target. We've got Halloween candy out. We've got back to school supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Back to school supplies were hitting. They were unboxing it before the kids got out of school last year.
Right. And
they're going, you're not driving demand by this. You're stretching it out, and then when the demand is there, you're going to be filling it with something else, and you're not going to have the product. And they're going to go somewhere else to buy that product that's
right.
Stocking it when they need it, not 4 months before they need it.
So how far away do you think we are from a major chain, and not just some onesie-twosie thing you might see in a mall, but a major chain of year-round holiday shops? So like something the size of like a Target or something like that has your Easter section, your Christmas section, your Halloween section, and it's just there all year round. Like, first of all, I'll bet that would do well. Second of all, I don't think we're far off.
We're 82 months away.
82 months away.
82 months away.
That's a long time away for Christmas.
It is.
82 months.
But no, we're waiting for the store, not the Christmas.
So I have.
What do you have?
In my grubby little former nicotine-stained fingers here.
I just saw a cigar in your finger. There's nothing formally nicotine-stained about those.
There's no nicotine stains on these hands. These sausages here, man. There's nothing here. So this right here, Wes doesn't know what's on the other side of this page. But he sent me the agenda today, and literally I was driving back from Vermont, and I'm like, all right, I should probably not try to read the agenda while I'm driving.
Good idea.
So I only skimmed it a little bit. So then I get to here, and I finally get everything set up. And I dig into the agenda. I look through it. I'm like, all right, well, some of this stuff is targeted straight at me. So I call
no, come on, no, none of today's.
And I plan to continue my trend.
None of today's show is directed at you. There's no way.
No, not at all. We'll throw the red flag. But this actually has nothing to do with that. There's another thing on this, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. Next week or the next time we have a thing like this, I believe I'm going to call Vegas and see if we can get Vegas odds on this and set an over and under. That way I can actually bet on this because I think it's going to be entertaining. So today I'm going to go with 10. So the over under set by the Davis odds is going to be 10. That's the over under.
10 on what? We don't know what we're talking about
yet. Well, now see, I'm only giving you a part of it right now. I'm giving you a peek right now, and then once we get rolling, it'll all make sense. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, all right,
sure.
All right,
I vote 12.
I love you, brother.
I say 12.
You're gonna go with 12? Well, you can't.
I don't know what I'm voting
You're
on.
The only person that is excluded from betting. Now, our live studio audience hiding in the background there, he can make a bet, but he might want to wait until because 12 might be. I mean, I might be woefully low. I think I
might know what it is. I think I might know what it is.
Yeah, you probably do.
I think I know what it is.
At this point. So
I'm going to say at least 15.
Okay. So I might want to up that over. But we talked before the show. You said you didn't have any news, and I've only got the one thing, and it's kind of a continuation.
No news that's political. That's the problem. We don't talk politics, and
we don't
literally
talk politics,
all the news right now is political.
We can't show the website on here, so we're just going to talk to you guys about it. We can't show the website because even though the specific thing that we are talking about is not political, they bring other politically charged things into the conversation, which have actually nothing to do with the actual conversation. I call it poor ridership or languagey people typers. What the word am I looking for? Journalism. That's the word. There it is. I found it.
Poor languagey type of people. Oh, yeah, journalism.
Poor ridership.
It's fine. Journalism is dead anyways. It's basically, it's an archaic word. It doesn't mean anything anymore. So
yes. It's like Google. Wait, no, that does mean something.
Google is a thing.
So anyway, really it is, we're back to, I'm back, well, not we, because it's just me, really. I'm back to beating up on Disney. Because last night, or sometime in the last 24-hour news cycle, Bob Chapek, who is the CEO of Disney, has announced that they're raising the cost or the price of the Disney Plus streaming platform.
Bob Paycheck strikes again.
Paycheck strikes again. So they're going to take this from $7.99 to $10.99, a $3 raise. Now, from everything we can tell on this, it was a unilateral decision. From the top said, this is what we're going to do. And he admits, basically, again, from the information we get, and you can get this at CNBC. You can just type in Bob Chapek news, and it's going to come up. You can pick your poison of who you want poor ridership from. I'm sticking with ridership. I'm riding it out.
Ridership.
Yeah, poor ridership from. So they are going to keep.
You got to hurt school doesn't count.
They're going to keep a $7.99 subscription, but that subscription is ad based.
See, they're adding commercials. Hulu did this. I blame Hulu.
Yep.
They started this dumb thing where you're paying for a subscription, you're paying for premium service, and you still have to sit through so many dumb commercials. Thanks, Hulu.
See, I'm struggling right now with the one I watch the most is Amazon Prime.
Dude.
And on Amazon Prime, with the new remodel they did on the show or on the GUI of the interface for it, they play a commercial before. Like I watch a lot of television shows. It could be Downton Abbey, it could be How I Met Your Mother, it could be who knows what I'm watching over there. But before every show, they're playing a commercial. You can skip it.
You can skip it. That's the thing that I like about Prime is you can skip the commercials.
Yeah, you can skip it.
Right.
But my problem is it wasn't there before. Why is it there now? I don't want to watch it. And all they do is advertise other shows on their platform.
Right, and that's it.
That's all they do.
So I don't mind those so much.
I don't mind them as much, but for the love of Pete, if I want to watch it, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it because you put it in front of a TV show. In fact, I'm more likely going to say, screw you, you're interrupting what I want to be doing. I want nothing to do with you.
Right.
See, you guys
because I'm stubborn. I'm a stubborn old man like that.
No, I'm with you, though.
What does the peacock in the back say?
He's saying we didn't grow up with commercials like he did.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah,
yes,
remember the good old days where like commercials were the one time you opportunity you had to use the restroom because you didn't have a DVR where you could pause the TV.
Stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better get that cleaned up, and you're watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it goes over to commercial.
Right.
run through, scrambling, trying to clean up some mess, and then jump back as it's coming on.
No kid has ever moved so fast in their life.
My dad used to come in and shoot me in the face during commercials.
That explains a lot.
That's why I hate commercials nowadays.
I mean,
She turned me into a newt.
there you go.
I got better. So, well, I'm sorry, that one really wiped me out there. I was like, wait a minute, where's he going with this?
If you get-
and then
if
he
you
went
get
right
the-
there, and I'm like, okay, so all right, this is the homicide part of tonight's show.
This is family friendly. This is a satirical. Unknown
yes.
user says we grew up with 3 channels. It was all commercials. Unknown user, which I assume is Shannon Black.
Probably
I
Shannon,
totally
yeah, you
agree,
guys
and that's
grew up.
hilarious.
Shannon.
Unknown
I don't see it over
by a
here
lake like a
on this
real
one.
man.
Let me click this button again. Yeah, it's Shannon. I see him over here now. I got to make sure I got this muted. Okay.
Yeah, if he is by a lake like a real man, as you say, he's probably not catching anything there either. So,
Well, I seen a post from him earlier saying he's trying to get out on a camping trip or something. So, hopefully he can get out in nature before it turns cold.
yeah, well,
Doesn't bother Shannon Black.
not real life outdoors.
The cold.
Not real life outdoors, Shannon Black.
The cold is scared of him.
He's not
Cold,
Chuck
scared of
Norris.
him. We're going all Chuck Norris with Shannon Black now.
Alrighty. Well, look, the show's getting weird already.
It is. So now here we go.
Okay.
Here is so we're showing a couple of business moves that I believe are just terrible ideas.
Okay.
If I were a cable company right now, offering classic cable subscriptions. Now, cable companies have on-demand material. They have on-demand content.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not locked into just watching it and along with the commercials that go along with it.
Right.
So if I'm sending with Spectrum or Charter, whatever the heck they're calling themselves this week, the former Time Warner or whatever, or
And that should
Wide
tell you
Open
something right
Spectrum.
there. I have a whole rant about that name change, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's Spectrum if you're a residential customer, Charter if you're a corporate.
My rant is their service was so bad. Their service was literally so bad. They had to rebrand because they couldn't sell their service using their old name.
Yeah.
That doesn't give me faith for the new company. A name change
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're actually good.
Yeah, I use Spectrum up here. I use Spectrum back in Columbus. I had 500 meg over there. I've got a gigabit internet speed over here, and it seems to do the job. But back to the point, I think now is the time that they could literally go on the offensive with saying, okay, we can. Oh, I like this. Good comment. Good comment. That we can provide you all of this content. We have on-demand content that is commercial free. And we're going to give it to you all on one simple Charter, Spectrum, Wide Open West, whatever companies else are out there. Please understand this big word here. Simple bill. One simple bill.
Never going to happen.
And you could literally launch a campaign and name that campaign Unsubscribe Your Life and go. And build off of that simple phrase right there.
Right.
Is enough to attract. Because I'm going through my monthly statements and trying to find all the stuff I pay for monthly, quarterly,
hang on.
semi-annual. And
So-
it's crazy the stuff I pay in subscriptions.
So let me try to sum this up if I'm understanding correctly. You're suggesting all of these premium channels that you subscribe to, okay, kind of bundle them together and you build once for all these premium services you're subscribed to. So almost like
cable.
Well, I was gonna say almost like cable.
Like cable.
You mean the thing that we stopped doing that now we're paying
We
more?
stopped doing, and then we pay as much, if not more.
Oh, we're paying
Now
more.
going
We're paying
back to
way more.
commercials. Now we're doing all the stuff.
It's
So-
cable. They reinvented cable.
Yeah, they did, and they made no, they didn't reinvent cable. They looked at cable and said, "Man, that really sucks. I bet we can make it worse." And that's what
Yeah.
they've done.
That's it.
They looked at this. It's like you've seen a business model that failed terribly, and then you said, "But I can have it, and I can do better." And that's that. And do better what? What did you do better? You took you took what everybody hated, and you're like, we can amplify this. We can make this work.
We can annoy people even
We
more.
can make this worse.
Right.
We have the technology, we have the crappy customer service, and we have the increased rates for no reason, Bob Chapek.
Right, and here's the difference. When you had cable, at least there was some sort of a customer service you could call and complain. If you have a problem with Netflix, who are you calling? You can't call Netflix.
Yeah.
You have a problem with Amazon Prime, you can't call Amazon. You think Jeff Bezos is going to answer the phone?
Well, yeah, you gotta have his number.
So, yeah, it's true. Me and Jeff were like this. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, customer service, and I can't say it enough, and I'll never stop saying it. I've said it before. I've went on full tilt rants on this show about it. Is the lifeblood. If you don't have customer service and you think everything's going to be self-serve, guess what, bud? You're going to be self-serving yourself pink slips because you're going to have to let it go a lot of people because your business is going to collapse in on itself.
Right.
Because all you're doing is pushing a shell of revenue, and it's going to run off a cliff. And as soon as the first one pops, all the dominant. A lot of analogies all rolled into that. As soon as the first domino pops, all the balloons are gone.
But don't nobody know that.
Well,
If anybody
I don't
got
think-
that joke, text me.
I don't think a lot of people care. The thing is, I'll look at the other side of that coin, and I'll say, as customer service goes down, the few companies left that have great customer service are going to do that much more business. And eventually, the free market's going to catch up, and it's going to balance out. But we have to hit rock bottom in other places first, which is the problem.
Yeah, it's sad that some people, some CEOs or C-suite management, that they just don't get it. They're so far disconnected from their core, from who they are, that they don't understand the damage they're doing to their brands. It's a shame to watch.
You wouldn't be talking
and
about Bob
we're in the
Paycheck,
midst
would
of
you?
it. I'm just talking about companies in general. I'm throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just throwing some stuff out there.
So regardless of what you and I have been talking about this whole time, David, our live studio audience just asked, who's Bob Paycheck? And I asked, where's he been sitting for the last 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, Bob Paycheck.
It's true. He has been drinking my bourbon. That makes sense.
So what bourbon is he drinking of? Is he back to Tin Cup?
Got the tin cup.
Jameson's, I'm drinking.
Oh, you drink the Jamesons.
Yeah.
Moving
Oh,
up in the
Jameson.
world.
Okay.
Moving up in the world. All right. So
Wait a minute. So in his world, Jameson's above Tin Cup?
Well, I just finished
Well-
a tin cup at my house, and I'm like, damn, I drank that within a week. I really need to slow down.
he doesn't have a drinking problem.
So-
He's actually very good at it.
I've got this down.
It takes lots of practice to be able to drink like
you
that.
Cast your Tin Cup over there, then you're like, I don't want to drink any more Tin Cup. I'm going to go drink West Jameson.
Right, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
a friend right there.
I gotta go talk to West about important shit.
Yeah, I'm out of bourbon. I got to
yeah.
go to West's house. I got business to talk about.
Yeah, like,
There's some stuff about some things.
I had a glass a night, one glass a night. I don't drink more than one glass a night, and it's like a half a glass, you know, like the small
I mean,
glass.
yeah, it's a half a glass. It's like it's no more than a solid 12, 13 ounces of fluid.
Well, no,
when you're
it's
talking
a
about
big
bourbon.
glass. I'm
So,
talking
so,
about
so does he pour it like I do? Is that what you're saying?
I fill it with ice, and then I fill it to the brim with bourbon.
So he only drinks 8 ounces of bourbon a night. It helps him sleep.
It seems like I'm going.
I'd say that's not called sleep. That's called passed out, sir. It's called passed out, blacked out.
I don't get drunk, and I don't drink more than that one glass. So
David-
there's
David.
like 3 ounces in the glass
David.
with ice. Is that a lot?
I only drink 8 ounces of bourbon in one sitting. I don't get drunk, probably because either you have a high tolerance now because you drink so much bourbon, or you are drunk, you just don't realize it, and then you come driving to my
Yeah.
house and drink my whiskey.
So, okay.
This is a
over to
family
the
show,
topic,
by the
over
way.
to the agenda. Over to the agenda.
Tonight's show brought to you by AA. It's not for quitters anymore.
Oh, we're going to hell. Oh, we're going to hell.
Let me say one thing real quick.
I think that one just sealed the fate right there. That one just sealed it in.
One thing real quick. I'll even get on camera for this.
All right.
So the other night, after I got done drinking this tin cup for the first night, when I had tin cup for the first night, I drank, I put ice in it, and I only filled it up halfway because tin cup's a little strong, right? But when I was done, and I'm getting ready for bed, I'm like, I want to fight. I want to find another guy and beat him up. I haven't wanted to fist fight since I was in high school.
David's not there to hold you back,
I
Matt.
call bull crap on that.
All right. All right. But
I was there, sir. I was there.
David was there.
all right, but either way, I wanted to fight. And I'm not.
So you're a mean drunk, is what you're trying to say?
But I was in such a good mood. I just was like, damn, I want to go out and pick a fight. So I'm thinking the time.
Wait. Bro, did you just say, I was in a good mood? I just wanted to go out and pick a fight.
Yes, that's exactly what
I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish by this kind of part of the
I
conversation.
gotta tell you, I kind of understand what he's talking about.
Yes.
I mean, I've never actually had that kind of scenario.
I'm in such a good mood. I want to go get in a fight.
Yes.
But I can understand. Yeah, I'm coming in Saturday. But the idea of just imposing your will, just a good tussle. Wes, have you ever been in a fist fight?
I have.
All right. You remember how good you felt afterwards? Whether you had a black eye, busted lip, bloody nose, didn't matter. You felt good afterwards.
I mean, when I won.
Yeah, you felt great afterwards, right?
Even if you lost, you still felt.
Yeah, but
better.
I was never like I was never. I'm gonna go pick a fight today. I'm in a good mood.
That's
I'm gonna go.
The first time in my life I've ever felt that.
Yeah, no
Nothing
redheaded
about that
Irishman's ever
computes.
went out to pick a fight.
Yeah, you are Irish, Wes.
I'm very Irish.
I would think you'd want to pick a fight more than you. I would really think you'd understand where I'm coming from. I don't even think you're trying.
It's true. It's true. Look. I'm a family man today. I can't go off getting drunk and getting in fights.
Your family's not even home yet.
That's true. They're off getting drunk, getting in fights.
So Shannon Black says, I'd fight a bear. I mean, not like a grizzly bear, a black bear, but maybe a Care Bear. Yeah, I'd fight the hell out of a Care Bear.
You know what, Shannon? I'll bet you could start a good YouTube channel on that. I'll bet there's a viewership somewhere.
I bet that Care Bear kick your ass.
I'd pay to see that.
That's really bad when you get your ass kicked by a
To have Shannon Black have his ass kicked by a Care Bear.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
He gets his ass kicked every time he goes fishing. So why not a Care Bear?
Oh, yes.
It's coming from the guys who
Yes.
sat on
Next
the lazy
next
boy.
year, Wes is wearing Care Bear shirts. Oh, no. Next year, that should be the bet.
That you have to wear a Care Bear shirt?
You got to wear a Care Bear shirt.
I've seen some badass Care Bear shirts.
Okay, we can make it happen. We can do this.
Yeah,
So we need
can
to.
have it.
So speaking of which, we probably we probably ought to start early, organizing that whole thing. So for those of you watching and listening who don't know, we now do an annual, it seems, fishing competition where Real Life Outdoors with Shannon Black on YouTube, a semi-professional fisherman and fishing channel, takes on yours truly, the Underdog journey, to basically humiliate the poor man at the Pay Lake. And next time it will be.
Slaughtered him. We slaughtered him this year. Absolutely.
David,
It was
we won.
crushing.
We won this year by far.
He didn't smoke one cigar. He didn't drink any bourbon.
No, he never drinks
I mean,
bourbon. Come on.
He didn't even try to compete. It was crazy.
Yeah, didn't even try.
You put on paisley.
He spent all of his time fishing.
Sat on the side you sat on a couch on the side of the lake wearing paisley dresses.
If there were a couch next to that lake, I totally would have sat on it.
You took
Yeah, like a leather one, and then if we could have had a waitress out there bringing us bourbon
That's
and cigars,
right.
That, I mean, to be honest, that's
David,
the upgrade.
David,
That's
we're
the upgrade right there.
we're gonna make this happen this year, next year in
Visionaries
23.
we are, visionaries.
We're gonna have
The
we're gonna
new
have
way
the
to
waitress with the literal silver platter bringing us bourbon.
yes.
This year it's also not
I'm
gonna be
all
a
for
dry lake. Shannon, we're not gonna have this at a dry lake.
No more
not gonna
dry
happen.
lakes.
Next year, I'm bringing my daughter, and we're going to compete on Shannon's team.
Good luck.
What? I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I was over in Vermont. I was telling you guys I was in Vermont earlier today, but I was over there last night, and I found myself at a steakhouse bar kind of pub thing, and found myself drinking with one of the gentlemen from Horse Soldier Distillery out of Kentucky.
I don't know that one.
So
Are they good?
it's one I've never had. I'm literally trying to click on the website here to get it to pull up. There it goes. So it was actually created by a group of veterans, this distillery in Kentucky, and they have some signature, some premium, and some reserve bottles that you can get. So hopefully next week I have some of these. But anytime we can support our vets in their business venture, man, I want to get on it.
Right.
And with that, I want to circle back to something we talked about last week, which was Cigars for Warriors.
Yeah, I don't have that website up anymore.
That's all right. We don't have it ready, and we're not going to talk. We'll bring it up because we want to kind of do a fundraiser, and we kind of want to bring some people in, and not necessarily through us. You don't have to donate. We don't want anything donated to us. Don't do that. But we want you to donate directly to this group. We don't want any kind of cuts taken, even if we Venmo it over. They're still taking a percentage.
Yeah, and that
We
was a
don't want
cool.
that. We want
That
you
was
to
a
send it
cool
straight
organization. Explain what Cigars for Soldiers is.
So Cigars for Warriors has
Warriors.
we got our active duty officers and military around the world. And they can request cigars from this charitable organization. It's 501c3. So, they've got all the paperwork, everything in. So it's a not-for-profit organization. And they have already sent over, there it is right there. So they've already sent over 1 million cigars to our servicemen and women around the globe. And they've got some pictures right there of the guys in uniform out there on duty or active duty with the cigars that have been donated. So we want to keep that up. And I believe, just as a guy who, partakes as a cigar from time to time, that it is a charity that, for guys like us, man, we really would, we want to get behind it, and we would love for you guys to get behind it too. Again, don't donate to us. We don't want you to do that. But there's ways on here where you can make a donation. They talk about donating cigars, donating funds, and donating time for some of their charity events. So, some of their fundraisers and things of that. Plus, they have drop-off centers all around the country. And I think they have 540 plus locations where you can drop cigars off that will be shipped out and sent over to, anywhere in the world that our servicemen and women are. So Cigars for Warriors, it's just somebody that I think that we are behind, and we'd really like to see you guys get behind it too. So if you guys make a donation on there, make sure that, actually we don't want any credit at all. We don't care. Just go make a donation to them. Yeah. Get money, get cigars. Just go make it. If you can donate time, that's all you've got to donate, then go donate some time and run a fundraiser in your area and draw it together. Because I think what we're going to try to do, I'm going to try to talk with Wes. We're going to be meeting this weekend, and we're going to go over some stuff. And one of those is maybe try to put together a cigar fundraiser for this specific group in Central Ohio in the next month or two. Just something that we can do for them. So again, we don't want credit for it. Just go and donate to them. All right? Yeah.
Cigarsforwarriors.org is where you need to go.
Why did you say warriors?
What?
You're both saying warriors.
Warriors. Warriors.
Dave says it.
Warriors. How do you say it?
I was born in West Virginia, so any dialect issues, I spent a lot of time in Boston, so that kind of rubs off too. So to be honest, the fact that anybody can understand what I'm saying is quite amazing.
None of us know what the heck you're talking about, David.
Well, I didn't say you didn't know what I was talking about. I just said understand what I was saying.
I have something for.
There is a difference.
Fair point.
I have had times where I can understand every word a person's saying, but what they're saying just doesn't make any dang sense. And then I've heard times where I'm like, I think I know what you're trying to say, but I can't make out a dang word you're talking about.
So apparently, I just got a security alert from the college. Apparently, the current version of Apple with the current version of Macs and all that are prone to cyber attacks, and there is a new update that's absolutely critical, according to this email.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. There's actually an iOS update out right now, so update your iPhones. There you go. There's your PSA for the day.
Now I feel like I've done my job.
Now Matthew Harmon has done his job.
Well, you got a Mac there. You got to be careful with that.
Well, it's iOS, not OS.
I don't know.
Update your phone.
Conversation is key to success.
Conversation, without the awkward silences, is what you need. So conversation is the main topic. Now that we're half an hour into the show.
Well, I'll tell you, when you disappeared, we didn't have awkward silences. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, then you were missing out.
It's true. There were no awkward silences. It was just awkward.
Well, yeah. Either way, there were no silence.
It was 2 weeks. It was 2 shows.
2 weeks is a long time when,
David.
you break habits.
Yeah, you, David. Alrighty. So, anyway, we are talking about conversation. Because here's the thing. Whether it's in, job interviews or marketing, sales, even dating or interpersonal relationships, conversation skills are absolutely key. This is something that you're going to use in every part of your life that involves communicating in any way. It could be, even if you're writing a blog, you still need to consider the conversation with your potential reader. If you're in marketing is not a monologue. It's a dialogue. Good marketing, the best marketing, promotes a dialogue because you want your potential customer to come back and have that dialogue with you. If you're doing interviews like this. Does this count as our first? The first?
No. This is not an interruption. No. I actually have a conversation or a question on this. It's actually kind of pertinent to it. So if
Sure.
you're doing a one-way if you're doing a one-way communication, say a television commercial, radio spot, even ad print or something visual on the internets, on the interwebs, would you, just as a marketing guy yourself, would you leave spaces in it, small pauses, for them to interject their response, even if it's not aloud or vocal or written or anything, just in their mind, they've processed and they're responding? Would you do that? Is that something that you would think about doing?
Well, so you actually see that a lot in emails and blogs right now. It's technically not correct, right, as far as writing goes. Like, I wouldn't do it in a college paper, but in blog posts and emails, you see that a lot now. You'll see, a single sentence and then a space, and then another a couple sentences and then a space. Again, it's not proper, paragraph form, but it does help to pace the conversation and allow people to soak things in before they move on. Why do you ask?
Hi.
And we have the kids, more live studio audience. And my son's not wearing a shirt. Where's your shirt?
I got too hot.
Oh.
I got too hot.
Hi, kiddo.
Hi there, Mr. Locke. How are you doing?
Good.
Where'd you guys come from?
We just came from my sister's soccer game practice.
Soccer game practice.
You
Did
guys
she do
smell
good?
like fresh air.
Yeah, but a
Awesome.
little girl got a boo-boo when she fell down.
A little girl got a boo-boo when she fell down. It wasn't your sister, was it?
Nope.
Was it Matt Harmon?
Did Matt Harmon is like a little girl
I
sometimes.
don't even know her.
You don't even know who she was.
No.
Hey,
You don't know who Matt Harmon is?
she's Matt
No.
Harmon.
I'm Matt Harmon.
Catherine, you got your new headband. How's
Yeah.
it going?
Hi, Catherine.
Good. I got
Oh, look at
this
that. Now, did you make that?
Did you make that?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah?
can I go now?
Very
you
cool.
go.
High five.
So
Oh!
where where did you just come from? Soccer practice?
Yeah.
Did you do good?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. Did you score a goal?
Nah.
Nah.
Did you make a girl cry?
Did you make a girl cry?
Nah.
It wasn't you.
Oh, I was like, please say yes, please say yes, please say yes, please say yes.
Okay. I think they're done.
She was drinking with Matt the other day, and then she wanted to go pick a fight.
My 5-year-old is an angry drunk. It's true.
Yeah.
So Catherine beat some girl up and made her cry?
Is that what happened? Locke
Well,
said some girls
that's
started
not what
crying.
I heard, but that's what I'm gonna tell everybody.
A girl tripped over the ball.
Got it.
Catherine was not involved.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the live studio audience. So, and now Matt's playing with my dog.
With the underdog.
That's this is
Yeah,
when the
that's
show
our model.
derails a little bit.
That's model Rio back there.
It's true. Rio, what are you doing?
Rio's looking for food.
She is. She's a mooch.
Yeah, she ain't coming over to you. You can call
No, that dog
all
wants
you
nothing
want.
to do with
She's-
me.
She's got nothing for you.
That dog wants nothing to do with me.
All right, so you both are talking about conversation like you're experts, but no, the only expert in this room on conversation is me.
Are you though?
I really am. I am an expert.
We're not talking
on
about awkward
conversation.
We're talking about avoiding awkward
I
conversation.
can actually have awkward or non-awkward conversations. It depends on how much you're paying me.
Mute me, Wes. Mute me.
David, have you ever been in a non-awkward conversation with Matt Harmon?
Well, it's because Dave promotes awkward conversations.
Dave
I,
promotes awkward conversations.
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate myself.
My conversations
You don't want to
are based
incriminate
off
yourself.
of the audience I'm in front of. And Dave is very awkward, thus awkward conversations.
Thus,
Yeah,
he did say
people
thus.
have a hard time talking with me. I'm a tough guy to chit chat with.
It's well, for us mere mortals, we're not all naturally gifted with a silver tongue and
Gift of
gab,
The gift of gab.
as it were.
What the real talent is, though, is walking into an office and being able to immediately read the office to the extent where you can start a conversation based on the information you've gathered from that office.
So how many times have you walked into an office and they started swearing at you, and you started swearing back at them?
Uno momento se por favor.
Once, and it works.
I believe we have an underdog challenge.
What is
here
this?
that needs to be presented?
What is the challenge?
That we need to have this fine salesman gentleman that's in the back here go into some offices. We need cameras there. Got to have it on film.
The camera crew following you
That's,
around, Matt.
that's how old I am. Got to have it on film.
On film.
Yes. 35 millimeter, to be precise.
Stanley
and,
Kubrick walking around.
Yes. And let's just see how good. I mean, because I guarantee you, even as we laugh, I guarantee you, some of our viewers and people who are trying to find a way to break the ice and to get a conversation started, I guarantee people could pick up tips. I guarantee it.
Yeah, true.
I mean, even though we're laughing and joking and hee-haw, it's all fun. But I guarantee you the guy sitting behind you right now actually does have some pretty good tips to share.
No, Matt, he's
And
actually
some really good what not to do's to share as well.
It's true. It's true. You can see you can speak to both sides of that spectrum.
When you have as high
Yes.
confidence in my ability, like I have an extreme high opinion of myself in that situation.
Oh, we know your head is
So
gigantic.
that very often, it's about 10%. You screw it up, or I screw it up. And when you take 10%, it's a high number. 10%'s a lot. I mean, 90%.
As far as the success
I got
rate?
right, and then 10% comes awkward because I got
Sure.
because I read The Office wrong. And
All right, as a guy who's managed people, if you give me a 90% success rate on close, I'm going to give you a raise.
It's true.
I'll suffer through those 10% losses.
Unless that 10%
with
was
humble dignity.
Unless that 10%
and
was such a detriment you had to fire the man.
which happens. And I would say,
Nope.
the 90% I
Nope,
did
you
right.
just reassign Jose Cuervo back there. That's not me. I'm from Buffalo.
There you go, Mr. Jameson.
Well,
you have anything else
Mr.
to add?
Jameson, that's right.
Either way, I never got fired for the instant, for that initial call.
But you did read some rooms wrong that led to some awkward conversations.
Some rooms wrong.
All right.
So back to awkward conversations. So
Back to awkward conversations now that we're 43 minutes in.
How do you recover from an awkward conversation?
Let's see. Where
Oh, there's
are
a lot
we?
here.
Oh, we're in the very first paragraph. We haven't got up.
we just started with the topic.
Just
So
God, poor West. I do feel bad for him because
I
you
put
know
in
after
all
we
this
close
work.
up these shows, I'm like, man, he puts so much work into these agendas, and then I'm like that freaking Kool-Aid man jumping in, going, "Oh yeah!"
oh yeah,
busting through the wall and just ruining it all.
it's fine. He stole that from Macho Man Randy Savage anyway.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
No, the Kool-Aid Man's been around since the early 70s.
Oh yeah.
He was. I would say
Who
Macho Man Randy
came
Savage got it
first?
from him.
All right, now we're getting off topic. So
The fact that I'm sitting over here Googling it, yes, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
We're good. Let's go.
is it about
Moving
Macho
on.
Man Randy
No,
Savage
it's
or
about
Mr. Kool-Aid?
conversation. So
Okay.
You walk into an office and it gets awkward. You screwed it up. How do you recover?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you screwed up, how you screwed it up, what you were saying at the time.
Say you complimented the picture of his family and you just found out his wife died.
You try not to laugh, is what you do at that point.
Right. So, I mean, seriously, you're in an incredibly awkward situation. At what point do you, because this happened. This happened to me.
Have
And
you
I
ever
said-
heard of the words apologize?
Yeah.
I mean, that would go a long way because
I mean, that's
look,
where you start.
it's not like you looked at a picture of his wife and said, "Oof, what happened to her?" And then he's like, "Oh, she's dead."
Yeah. No. I
Like
didn't do that.
before or after the photo.
I did not.
Or
do that.
or the cute receptionist walks out of his office and you say, "Man, she's a looker," or something even more inappropriate, and he's like, "That's my daughter." So
See, I never did anything.
So
like that.
so most people think that live stream and podcast is actually pretty easy.
there you go.
And I gotta tell you, there's just absolutely nothing further from the truth than that.
Now we're back on
Because
topic.
Sometimes you get dragged off, and I am a terrible perpetrator of this, dragging us off onto crazy tangents and talking about hot receptionists
I
that
never
are
talked
the
about
guys.
hot
I mean, that was the straw camel. The camel's dead. We're back on topic now. So, I remember our first show,
Mm-hmm.
and I gotta tell you, the interaction. I think we were live for probably almost a minute before we realized we were actually live.
Oh yeah, we were going.
And it just kind of chit chatting and having a conversation of like, oh, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? I don't know. Are we ready? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it ready?
It was
and
bad.
that's what the first minute of our first podcast was.
So, but here's the thing. It's a lot of people think, again, with the podcast or creating videos for YouTube, something like that, it's easy. You just plop down in front of a camera, right? It's supposed to be, the easiest thing in the world. You just get up here and you talk.
Yeah.
But there's nothing natural about sitting in an empty room, speaking to a piece of plastic, and you're just here by yourself. You look and you feel like an idiot. And seriously, when you first start out, your content is going to be so terrible. You're going to sound terrible because it's not natural, and it takes a lot of practice to get that natural feel to speaking. Even speaking into a mic right here, this isn't natural.
Are your notes about podcasts?
No, it goes all through conversation as far as marketing, interpersonal, interviews, a lot of stuff.
All right.
If we ever get to it.
So we're on
Which
the
we're trying.
part right now, though.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Which we're trying. I'm already going to tell you, next week on the Underdog Journey, part 2 of conversation is key to your success.
Right, exactly. But it's one of those things. It does get a lot easier, especially if you have a co-host. It makes it a lot easier to bounce conversation off of.
It does.
If you have a live person, it makes it a lot easier. Or if you're at a bar having drinks.
Yeah, being side by side. So when Wes
It's a
and
much
I
different
when we
dynamic.
do this show and we're side by side, the dynamic is just so much more natural for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, that's how this
away.
podcast was born, was just us talking. And then we're like, all right, let's put a camera in front of us. And Wes boiled it through and eventually said, David, I'm launching. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And, we got what we needed. The first show, we used the boom mic or the shotgun mic mounted on top of the camera. And that's all we had. And then X amount of minutes in, because we had the camera and we had no air conditioning, so the camera
kept overheating.
It cut us off. Second week we had the same problem. Then we learned that we could leave the little
you learn the
display.
technical tricks to make it work without the
little
camera
tricks,
overheating,
and then,
better mics.
Yeah, we ended up going to a soundboard for noise. And I'll tell you what, that awkwardness that you get when you first start talking to this, you have a little piece of plastic up here and you're talking into this mic. That becomes a whole new level when you're doing this out in public.
Oh, when you're in front of an audience. So when David comes into town, for those watching and listening, we usually host from the Hofbräu House. Like, we actually get up on stage, and we're in front of the whole place. And people are like looking at us like, what the heck are these two weirdos doing? Because they can't hear us. We're not on the house audio yet. But it's a much different environment.
Shame Dave doesn't
Yeah.
So
over there.
it's true. I was going to bring this up. I got to bring it up. You go back and you look at Joe Rogan. Well, see, you knew. You saw the agenda.
So here we go. We got the official Joe Rogan name drop counter right here. So I've got my marker, and we're going to do the little tick marks for every time that Joe Rogan's name is brought up, which brings us to a total of 3 just in the last few seconds.
Well, I thought that was going to be how many times you interrupt me.
No, well, that would be a counter for you to take. Because I know how many. I have it predetermined. I have it written over here on a post-it note how many times per night I interrupt you.
Well,
That's-
was his guessing game? This was his guessing
How many
game.
times we say Joe Rogan?
It wasn't telling. Oh, never mind.
That's 4.
Joe Rogan?
That's 5.
All right, but no, you go back and you look at his first episode. This was literally
Whose first episode?
the first episode of Joseph Rogan.
I'm counting it.
Counts.
It still counts. All right. So I'm turning the audio up on this.
Point to me and I'll
Okay.
say it.
And this is literally how it starts out. Look at this. It's just him and his buddy trying to figure out how to use the software. And there's 2 hours of this.
My own channel. So let's go to your own channel.
So I would say, David, I'd say our first episode was head and shoulders above this.
Yeah.
You're still not.
Well,
Wait,
we
what's
had-
with
we
the
had
snowflakes?
Joe Rogan. That's another. We had his shoulders to stand on. We knew, and here's the thing: we knew going in
When he was running for sheriff, he was
the
saying
first
no
one was
trouble.
going to be terrible. We
Right.
knew that going in.
Right.
But I love the terrible backgrounds, the snowflakes. I'm guessing they have snowflakes because they don't know how to turn them off.
Probably. So the funny thing is, this is the first episode. If you go and look at his next 200 episodes, it's literally him on a living room couch, like a really ugly living room couch. Not even as nice as this IKEA piece of artwork here, but a really ugly brown living room couch for the next 200 episodes. And now he's worth over $100 million from Spotify. He's on episode, 18 something now. It's crazy.
But he has a personality well, never mind. not.
But so here's the thing. Here's kind of where I'm going with this now.
He was famous before, so that brought it in.
Was
that did not hurt him.
So here's kind of where I'm going with this, though. So the important part to note is, even though before starting his thing, he was a professional stand-up comedian. He was also a professional presenter through the UFC before he ever started doing the podcast.
And he was a host for a television show called Fear Factor.
Right, and so even with all of that, his first few podcasts were terrible. They were awful because the conversation that's needed that you don't have in these other formats is essential, and it's a skill that you can build up over time. But it shows you a professional like that with that kind of background still was terrible to begin with.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Snowflakes.
So good now?
Snowflakes. Just when you're out there and you're wanting to start. Let's say you're wanting to start a social media page, and you're like, I can't do this. Just remember snowflakes.
Yeah.
Dude had snowflakes on, and I can't say 100%, but I'm gonna go 90% because they didn't know how to turn them off.
Right, exactly. That's hilarious.
That's why they were there.
So,
they didn't know how to turn them off.
So, but the point is the conversational skills needed to get in front of this piece of plastic and to sound natural. I mean, it's hard to achieve. So don't feel bad if you're not great at it. And we're going to walk you through some scenarios and how to overcome these problems and build your conversational skills. Because again, you're going to need them not just for things like this, a podcast, like Mr. Joseph Rogan's. You can count that one. But also, like I said, in your marketing, in your sales. David, you're in sales and you use really good conversational skills all the time. I would say most human beings can't achieve your level of conversationality. Inventing words.
So I wasn't going to call you out on it because the last time I called you out on inventing words, the word was real.
Phraseology is a word.
What was it?
Phraseology.
Yeah, phraseology. I mean, come on. Can you think of a more made-up sounding word than phraseology?
I am actually going to have T-shirts made up to say phraseology is a word, and I'll get one for you.
Urology is a made-up word.
Urology.
Yeah.
It's the study of the planet Uranus.
I think it is.
He likes to study Uranus.
I have a really good point to make. You know what makes Joe Rogan so good now? Okay, Joe Rogan.
$100 million in a good studio?
Me, I'm allowed to say Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has cookies for his live studio audience every episode.
Fair point. I would say what actually makes him what makes him good is a good producer.
When your live studio audience comes over, he can't have bourbon, but he can have cookies.
That's true. I'll hit up the Girl Scouts before you come over next time.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But I would say a producer. Look, imagine what our show would be like if we had an actual producer, where that could do a lot of this stuff for us while we're just chit-chatting like a couple idiots.
Yeah, that'd be great. What are you opening up there?
I'm opening up another Knocktoberfest.
Oh, dude, I'm so sure. I'm sitting here drinking Blanton's and Eagle Rare, and I'm super jealous that you're drinking Knocktoberfest.
Oh, man. You should be. It's delicious.
You make Dave the producer. You put me in Dave's position.
David, do you want to handle the technology on the show?
Okay, well, let me rephrase that question. Wes, do you want to co-host with Matt Harmon?
He already has.
No comment.
He did fantastic.
It's true. We did for 2 weeks, actually.
I watched both those shows. Okay, so one of those shows I was here, and I was watching from my chair right here by my piano. And the other show, the second show I was watching, I was at the Red Sox baseball stadium watching in the stands. So there's the baseball game going on, but here's me, weirdo me, holding the phone up to my ear, looking at the screen, holding the phone up to my ear, and watching the Underdog journey from Fenway Park.
The mystery deepens.
The mystery deepens.
So breakdown.
He looks like he had a breakdown. David, did you have a breakdown?
No.
There you go. All right,
No.
So let's say that you don't want to do any kind of public speaking. Let's say you don't have no interest. Let's say you have no interest in creating a YouTube channel or speaking on a podcast or doing interviews. Let's say you don't have no interest in any of that stuff.
Don't have no.
But you're still in some kind of sales. You're still in some kind of marketing. You have to write emails for work. You want to write blog posts. These conversational skills are still vital in every part of all of these areas. You're going to need these skills because it's all about a dialogue. Nobody wants to hear you monologue. Nobody wants to hear this talking at them all the time. That's why David's here, to make me sound like a human being.
The power of
Literally my only purpose
is to not
break up West's conversation.
is
That's
to
it.
not
That's
make
all
me
I do.
sound like a VCR instruction manual.
Well, you really do when no one's here.
It's true, I do. You should read my writing. It literally reads like a VCR instruction manual. It's terrible.
TV VCR. What's that Sally Struthers commercial way back when about some kind of a technical institute that you could get certification and all these, I think one of them was TV VCR repair, which
That's funny. That's funny.
Was it Sally Struthers? I thought she did the hunger thing.
I've seen Sally Struthers. She was not hungry. That was bad. I shouldn't have said that. We got to edit that out.
Said that?
we're live. So, I'm talking to people at
I got it. I apologize, Sally. I apologize, Miss Struthers. That was uncalled for.
She was at dinner. So I'm talking to some people.
You're
last
not
night,
helping me,
Bob.
David. Oh, you're not helping.
I'm talking to them about the Underdog journey. So if you guys are watching, Chris and Kevin and Chris from the Wild Horse Saloon or the bourbon place I was talking about earlier, that's I'm talking to them. It's like, we do the show and we're a little different because a lot of people do their shows and they record it and they do all the editing and they cut in and cut out and do all so we do everything live.
Right.
So when we screw up, it's
live.
loud. There's no stopping.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
just-
true. When we say something inappropriate, that is
Yeah.
the least of the inappropriate things that we were thinking about.
Yes. Yes.
Because we're holding it all in.
Yeah.
Oh,
If I slip a French word out there, parlez-vous en français, s'il vous plaît, that means that I probably had a better one in stock. But
It's
that's
true.
the one that, it was like, no, you can't say that. Say this instead. And you're like, oh, darn, I shouldn't have said that either. But it was better than saying what I was originally going to say.
It's true.
But
The
you
only
gotta
French.
go with it. You got to keep moving. There's no stopping, especially, when you're lubricating the whole
It's
time.
true. The only French word that I know is les honhon, ooh la la, and that's from Pepe Le Pew.
You literally are the worst French. I mean, French is such an elegant, beautiful language.
Les
It's on
honhon.
a sandpaper.
All right.
Look,
Whoa,
I've-
I gotta
hang on,
come-
Matt,
I gotta
hang
come
on.
to my best bro's defense here. All right, I gotta come to my best bro's defense.
I'm talking about you.
Get me.
Yes.
Les
All right,
honhon.
all right. I'll take it. Go for it.
All right. So actually, I disagree with you because I've seen Gerard Depardieu, and there is nothing elegant about that man. Come on. Look at Gerard Depardieu and then look at Shrek and tell me you're not looking at the same person. I am sorry, Gerard. But
Well, tonight we're talking about Joe Rogan's first podcast.
Joe Rogan's first podcast. So here's the thing. So unfortunately, too many people aren't actually listening to you when you speak. When you're part of a conversation, and you can tell when this happens, I'm telling you, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Too many people aren't listening. All they're doing is waiting for their turn to speak. That's it. They haven't heard a word of what you said, of anything you said. It all went over their heads. They're just waiting for their chance to open their mouth and for sounds to come out. And that's the biggest problem. And that's one of the reasons why when you develop these skills, you're going to stand head and shoulders above everybody else. Because it's obvious when that happens. I can't tell you how many meetings I've been in the past, past careers that I've been in, and literally nobody's listening. They're just waiting for their chance to talk and say something that might sound intelligible. So,
Well, last
keep
week
that in
we were
mind.
talking about. See, I'm sorry, I did that on purpose.
No, you didn't.
No, but
No,
I agree.
no, you
And
didn't.
I'm gonna throw myself under the bus on this because I try to catch it and I try to subdue it, but I have found myself in meetings like, dear God, just take a breath, because as soon as you take a breath, I'm hitting you with some mad facts.
Right.
I'm hitting you with some mad, technical data or something that's gonna blow your socks off.
Oh my God.
And not listen. And I've caught myself. Now, normally I'm listening to what they're saying, and normally that's my normal MO. But it's only because I've worked so hard at it for so long to not just shut up so I can respond.
Right. But unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why I have a bad habit of speaking quickly when I'm explaining technical details. One, because I know I need to get them all out before somebody comes along and interrupts what I'm trying to say, and because they're not actually listening. And two, I'm a little paranoid actually when I get into the technical speak that nobody actually cares what I'm saying. So I actually have to get it out before somebody tries to change the subject. However, when you look at all the
people that you may be speaking to they may not have a clue of what you're saying.
That's actually true a lot of the time too. You need to speak at the level of understanding. Don't speak down to people, but you need to make sure people actually understand what you're trying to say.
You have trouble with
And
that.
God, that's a fine line.
It's true. I have problems with technical parts. I don't quite understand the concept of technical details from time to time.
You do understand, but you're talking to people who don't understand, and I think finding that bridge you struggle with.
Me?
Just that one issue.
You think
Everything
so?
else you're glorious.
I would disagree.
All right, then.
I see a challenge.
I actually work as a
Dude,
really
bro,
good
I'm just
translator.
saying, we've got challenges out the wazoo tonight for this.
We have lots of challenges. We're very
I
challenged in lots of ways.
Well,
Yeah, I like the way the topic's going because, you know, it doesn't matter what your business is. At some point, not some point, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. In every point, conversation is key.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what you do. If you deal with another
Every
person in any way, conversation is key. There's no such thing as dealing with other people and having a monologue achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. Unless you're lecturing in as a professor somewhere, and even then, I would say most of your students are sleeping.
There is only one scenario that I can think of that the monologue is the key.
An audiobook.
No, that two scenarios that I can think that the monologue is king.
What's that?
One of it is audiobook. The second is late night TV show host.
Well, I would disagree. Because he's still interacting, even though passively with the audience.
With the people,
Because
All right,
he has
so
the
only
hand
one.
gestures and he's waiting for the
Audiobooks, you're out of
applause.
luck.
And here's the thing: even those late night talk show guys, with doing their quote unquote monologue, they still have the interaction with the audience. The audience can still see them. They can still sort of make eye contact. They can have hand gestures at different audience members. And those shows, you never see it on camera. They actually have an audience. What do they call an audience?
Cues.
It's like an audience coach, like somebody who stands up there and like raises their hands to say applause.
The cue that they have the applause.
Yeah, there's an actual word for it. Yeah, I can't remember.
The cue.
So there's a lot of that going on too. So I would say there's very, very few examples of true monologues working.
There is one thing I should say though before we get off too far is when you're talking and you feel like they're not listening. Yeah, granted, some people come with their phones and they're looking at that from the beginning. But most of the time, what happens is you're talking, you say a word, and that word triggers a memory.
Possibly.
And they shut down listening to you because now they're thinking about that memory. So now they're kind of half listening to you, thinking about the reference that you just made, trying to make the association. That's at that point, then they start thinking about what they're going to say.
You're partially right. And while you were saying that, I was kind of doing what you're saying I'm doing. But you're partially right, though. But that's kind of the art of conversation, though, is not only having the two-way dialogue, but keeping somebody's attention as well. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
This is where ADD comes in so handy. Because people with ADD, now you guys don't know this, and you'll make fun because that's what you do, but people with ADD...
I never make fun of people with ADD. I make fun of him marking down how many times we said Joe Rogan.
You make fun of me. People with ADD
There's another one.
have the ability to read facial cues. So an eyebrow, your eyes drift, whatever. There's all these different cues in someone's face that I can just naturally read, and I know the minute they've stopped paying attention.
Sure.
Or the minute that I've said something that was off-putting because they'll back up.
Sure.
Or they'll create a little bit of distance between us. Even if it means just sliding back a little bit. There's all these little unspoken cues that are so critical to a good conversation.
Sure, there are micro expressions that you need to take into account, and that's totally true.
Make up a new word, micro expression.
No, that's the thing.
That's the thing. He's never heard of micro expressions.
Next week, we're going to listen to the teachings of Dr. Cal Lightman.
I don't know who that is.
He's an MBA.
David loves his MBAs.
It's a fake person from a television show called Lie to Me.
Ah, got it. Never saw that one. So,
and it talks about the whole show is based around micro expressions.
Got it. Well, I have microaggressions toward microexpressions, but there you go. Somebody got it.
I have macro aggressions towards business speak.
Well, so here's the thing. You look at the very best interviewers, right? And they're not. They see that. Here's what's so hard about being a great interviewer, like one of those late night talk show hosts or Mr. Joe Rogan. The thing is, they make it look so natural, but it's actually really hard because not only are you trying to engage with the person you're interviewing, You're trying to engage to what they're
With your viewership.
You're trying to engage with your viewership. You're trying to truly listen to what they're saying at the same time, come up with something witty to say next, while still fully taking in everything they're saying. And very, very rarely will they actually interrupt anybody. Usually, David, there you go. I like that. Usually what they'll do is they'll actually cue up the other person to talk more, because that's what is the sign of a great interviewer, is somebody who can get the other person talking as much as possible while also keeping it entertaining. It's really hard to do. And here's something else that not a lot of people realize. I myself deal with this. I'm actually really, really super introverted. And you usually wouldn't guess it from shows like this, but left to my own devices, I would sit in this room with nobody else around for hours and hours and hours. I'd be as happy as a clam. But when you come on and you have to
I
engage...
picked up a hitchhiker with a puppy dog today, bro. And talked their ear off for 4 hours driving them.
Did they regret getting in the car with you?
Up
Is that what you're telling me?
Vermont down to New York.
You actually picked up a hitchhiker.
Yeah, some hippie. Her name was Dragon. The puppy's dog name.
Oh, the dog's name was Dragon.
No, her
Mika,
name-
oh, yeah, the person's name was
The girl's name was Dragon.
Yeah, it was. And the puppy dog's name was Mika. And, 4 hours. Now, this person's probably on the road by themselves, walking. They hitchhike. And, we got a pretty good conversation. But I'm guessing by the time they got out of the car with me,
They're like,
they'd
thank
had a
God.
conversation for a month. Maybe a year. I don't know.
You are chatty.
It's true.
I
And you
am-
shouldn't pick up hitchhikers, David. That's not safe.
It's a hippie
They
chat.
had a puppy dog.
It's true.
puppy
But
dog.
she also could have had a knife or a machete.
She did have a knife.
See? Look, you're hitching. You got to have a knife. You got to be able to protect
Yeah.
yourself. Just saying.
I mean, what were the odds of us both being mass murderers, right?
It's true. Look, hitches get stitches. So be careful out there, man.
No, it's a puppy dog, man. It was a Ridgeback.
Oh, I love
Gorge-
Rhodesian
gorge puppy,
Ridgebacks.
yeah.
Those are great
I
dogs.
mean, you can't leave that dog on the side of the
Rhodesian
road.
Ridgeback.
It was an old puppy too, so
Yeah.
he was tired. Or I'm sorry, she was tired.
So for those watching and listening, Rhodesian Ridgebacks were actually bred to hunt lions in what is now Zimbabwe. The old country of Rhodesia was called Rhodesia. Do you know what's called Rhodesia?
No, I didn't actually.
So
You're
I
bitching.
forget the guy's first name, but it was something Rhodes. He was one of the founders of De Beers Diamond Company. And
yes.
the country was named after him.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Bobby De Beers.
Eh?
Bobby De Beers.
So Rhodesia was actually named after one of the founders of that company because
Nice.
they just had ungodly amounts of money.
Now that
And apparently they
is
hunted
a
lions with dogs.
marketing. That is the marketing program of all marketing
Oh, yeah.
programs in all of history, was to convince all of mankind
That diamonds are rare.
were rare and scarce,
Exactly.
wildly inflating their value.
Oh, if people
which we know
knew,
today is not the truth.
but we still buy them, we still pay for them.
Haven't you
And we
always
still
told me-
pay out the nose for them because of that. I mean, to be honest, from a sales and marketing standpoint, that's. I mean, how do you beat that?
Haven't you always told me that sales and marketing are separate?
Yes.
Then why is a salesman talking about marketing? Just saying.
Because he's a salesman talking about marketing. I'm a marketer talking about sales.
Oh,
That's how we roll,
I was
dog.
It works, bro. It works. If you would listen to us, maybe you'd be financially successful.
I don't want to be financially successful. I'm happy. I want to paint now.
He's going to art school. He's the hippie you're going to pick up as a hitchhiker in a couple of years when his wife kicks him out.
If you don't have a puppy dog with you, I'm 80 miles an hour right past you, buddy.
It's true.
I have a puppy.
You got to have a puppy dog, or I ain't stopping.
Yeah. Plus, he's a mean drunk. You don't want to pick him up.
Dude, if I get a chance to crack him right in the jaw. Hey, man, you want to step over here and box? All right.
I feel so
No
good
knives.
afterwards. I got my jaw broken. I feel great.
Oh my God, we're so far off topic.
We're so far off topic. We've been going for a while too.
Yeah,
So
I gotta go soon. So
we might actually need to save some of this for next week. But the point
Yeah, we
is
absolutely.
what?
I kept scrolling, and the agenda just keeps going.
Look, I'm thorough
Yeah, we've got plenty for maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks.
at our rate. We didn't even start until half an hour in.
Yeah.
So, but the point is look, even in marketing or writing a blog, people think it's one way. You just write the stuff, and people And back in the day of print media and old school radio, maybe that was it. You build it and they will come. It's one of those sorts of things. But unfortunately, right now, or fortunately, however you look at it, with digital media, that's not how it works. Everything needs to be a dialogue with your customers. If it's marketing, if it's writing a blog, if it's putting up digital ads.
We opened a little bit of conversation earlier today with me asking you, and that was that was before I read down a little bit further in the agenda, was about having those breaks, because you were talking about it being a dialogue, about having breaks in maybe your print media or your visual media. Something basically for your mind to reply, even if you don't physically or verbally reply.
Right, and that's the thing. It's not, and it goes beyond what you think it does. So part of it is adding those breaks for people to think, which is very important. Also, as we mentioned, but there's also the conversational tone of the writing has changed over the years. It's much more conversational now, even comedic at times. But also, with the nature of digital media, it's a two-way street. They can leave comments, every step of the way. They can leave essentially the written equivalent of an entire blog post themselves in the comments. How they interact with your company based on that ad. And you can actually use data to make the conversation happen as well. Because here's the thing. You can track somebody's data from your website, through your blog, through your products, through your social posts. And you can see what they're interacting with, where they're interacting with your brand, with your products. And you can tailor your message specifically to them and their actions. In a way, that's not much different from a late-night talk show host doing a monologue and interacting with his viewers in the same way. He can make eye contact. He can see what they're reacting to in real time and what they're not. So it's really kind of the same thing.
Or better yet, you can have your AI write the content.
That's true. Or you can use an AI writer and have them write your content.
For further details, go see previous episodes of the Underdog Journey.
It's true. So, Matt, have you used the AI writer to write papers in school yet?
Reached my limit. I've got to wait a month before I'm allowed to use it again.
There's more than one. There's a lot of different AI tools.
Just the one.
No, there's a billion AI writing tools.
Dude,
That's even scarier.
if you don't have multiple email addresses to do this,
plus more
you've
email
already
addresses.
messed up.
Don't just sign up with the one.
Look, there's only so much effort I'm willing to put into making my life easier.
There's only so much effort I'm willing to put into cheating at school.
Tonight on the Underdog Journey,
that's what we're talking about, Matt.
We get friends kicked out of college.
Right. Next episode, how to get kicked out of art school. Which is really hard to do.
Really hard. But I am determined.
Yeah, I've heard some of the conversations about his art classes and some of the issues he's had, and I'm just there going, how do you stumble into these things time after time? Like,
it's true.
My Lord.
Well, so here's the funny thing. So he hasn't started taking nude figure drawing yet. And I'm just waiting for the day when he comes back to us and says, guys, I'm in trouble.
Again.
Because he was giggling like a little schoolgirl when she took her robe off.
Hey, you know what? Our drawing methods teacher told us very straight up. It's like, you don't have your phones out during this class. He says, for one, if we ever have a model in here, you don't ever have your phone out with a model in the room.
You know what's funny? They didn't even tell us that when I was taking those classes because it was a given.
You're 12.
Like, they just knew.
It was common sense.
It was common sense.
Yeah.
I guess that's not common sense anymore.
Well, someone
Yeah,
did it.
common sense is what. You know what? We could do a whole show
On the lack of common
just
sense
on
in the
common
world.
sense.
Oh, you
Just
know,
for
we could
common
do
sense.
an
And-
entirely different show separate from this one on a weekly basis, just on the lack of
Yes.
common sense in the world. That
Yeah,
would actually be
it
a good.
would be crazy.
We
It
would
would
get
be
good
crazy.
viewership on that one.
I'm actually considering a podcast on bully bosses.
I could see that.
And I'm serious about it because I'm seeing some of the damage that they're doing, especially with the new, with the level of control that's being put on individuals and their inability to handle that type of responsibility ethically.
I have some really good bully boss stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all do, and I'm not with those companies anymore. So the companies I'm currently with now, it's not about you, just so you know, past companies. But yeah, we all have those stories.
Yeah, I'm giving a lot of thought because I've got to do podcasts in the next semester. So
Is that a class?
it's part of video now.
Really?
Yeah.
You already have the work done.
Yeah, I actually had to help build the sound booth over the summer for the podcast
Ah, cool.
section.
Nice. That's awesome.
He just held up a sign. Did you say Joe Rogan? You didn't say Joe Rogan.
I didn't say Joe
There
Rogan
it
again.
is. That's
That's a
right
twofer.
there.
That's a twofer. All right.
Okay, I gotta go. See you, audience.
All right, man. See you later.
Yeah, Dave, you know how I feel about you.
We all know. We all know how you feel about David.
I've texted the group of everybody, and he hasn't replied.
I'm not gonna be in town.
Wait.
West, you have a pipe.
I do. I got a corncob pipe. Check this out. Hey, see, Matt. I got a corncob pipe. Check this out. That's fancy.
It's fancy. What's the stem? What's the stem there? The green stem. Is it
Yeah,
like
so it's got this nice lucite, or
lucite?
basically plastic stem on a corncob
Okay.
pipe. So this is from a company called Missouri Meerschaum, and I do want to interview them at some point.
Okay.
This company it's like 150 years old, something like that. And I mean,
Wow.
they're still around making corncob pipes. Go figure.
So I caught a live episode of your show.
The pipe
Couple
show I
weeks
do?
Yeah, of the pipe channel.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch all of it. We were off doing something. I didn't know it was going to happen. Had I known it was going to happen, I would have dedicated time. Like, no, I'm watching this show.
I think I
But
did that during.
You had like a doctor on or something, a doctor of tobaccoology or some crap.
Yeah, well, he's actually a doctor. He has his PhD is in history, so he's a history guy. But he is one of the leading voices in premium tobacco advocacy. Right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Yeah,
so,
based on what I could hear, based on what I heard of him, I could absolutely agree. Yeah. Yes.
And the funny thing is, he has one of the best voices in the world. So not only is he a good speaker, he has like that really ultra southern accent.
Yeah.
So he almost sounds
So-
like he's doing like a. Remember Leonardo DiCaprio from Django Unchained?
I try not to.
It almost sounds like he's doing that impersonation, but like that's his real accent. He's actually a really super awesome guy, though.
Most people who watch our show will not know what I'm talking about. But
Okay.
the gentleman who just left your room, he reminded me of him doing the Master Mason lecture.
Did he do a
Like
southern
a
accent?
Southern lawyer.
Southern lawyer. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Southern lawyer.
Southern lawyer.
That's how he does the Master Mason lecture. And so as I'm sitting here listening, I'm like, dude.
But this guy was awesome to talk to. Actually,
It was great. It was a great show.
he came to he drove up from Kentucky to come to the Ohio Pipe Show last weekend, and I met him there and had a couple drinks. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on
I
staying that long, but he showed up and he was like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Whoa, cool."
Was it last weekend or the weekend before that I tried to get you over to Pittsburgh to go to Metallica?
It was the weekend before, but like it was a
Weekend before.
Sunday night. It's everybody watching and listening. Okay, on a Sunday night.
Everybody watching and listening, this bro just called me up and was like, dude, I'll cover the cost of the hotel and the cost of the concert tickets. You got a 3-hour drive ahead of you to get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
It's a 6-hour drive for me, so I had to be moving by 2 p.m. so I could get there by 8 p.m.
right. But
If
I
don't see,
I have to work the next day, David.
yeah, so do I.
Yeah, my work doesn't involve driving around listening to Downton Abbey in my Corvette.
I was going to bring the Nissan.
listening Downton Abbey in my Nissan while I drive 150 miles.
It was a lot, but yeah. But anyway, it's Pittsburgh, and they got some pretty good steakhouses down there. We could have partied
That's true.
afterwards. And more importantly, they have the Rocky Patel Burn.
That is
cigar
true.
lounge. So
We should do a show from there.
I am all about that.
I will
That
give
place is gorgeous.
I will give Rocky a call. I'll say, "Hey, Mr. Patel, let's make this happen. You make some sweet
Mr.
sticks."
Patel, what we have here is a failure to broadcast from your location.
Look, if I can get Alan Harrelson to come up and join us, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
Things have gone strange. So we have. Let me take a quick look at the agenda here.
We're gonna have to postpone the rest.
We're talking about not inter, and that's what the arrow was for. In case anybody got that, was the good people don't interrupt the interviewee so much. Terribly guilty. I get excited because, especially with the guy from Grimwald Hollow, I'm sitting here watching him and talking with him, and some of the movies that this guy's worked on was so so impactful. And Stevie, I get so excited for him with his stuff, and I want to share that excitement and pump him up at the same time. So I'm always going to be the cheerleader in the background, man, and I'm absolutely going to fail at this. Don't interrupt at every case because I want to be as excited. I want to be excited and get them excited. And the more excited you are about something, and the more passionate you are about something, the better you are at presenting, and the better you are at really closing a deal. Because I don't care who you are, how many doors you can open, how many doors get slammed in your face. None of that stuff matters. What matters is your close rate.
And that's it. You're right.
What was that?
So next week we will actually get into different tactics to use in different situations, whether it's marketing or sales or writing a blog, or if the conversation stalls out, what do you do to re-engage? Because that's another thing. Re-engagement with the conversation isn't just important in person. It's important. Let's say you have an email list that's gone cold. You have a lead list that's gone cold. The same re-engagement tactics and techniques still work, and they still apply. So we will totally show you how to do all of these things next week on the Underdog Journey.
Next week or the week after.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Well, see, I'm just
week?
saying. I'm looking at the stuff here going, I think the agenda you made out for tonight is good for 3 weeks. I think it's good for 3 weeks because they're so in-depth and it's so important for the people to be able to grow, for you to be able to grow your business. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking to your customer, whether you're talking to your bank, or whether you're talking to your suppliers.
Whether you're going in for a job interview or going on a date.
Yeah. That would be hilarious. Now that's another Underdog challenge that I think would be hilarious.
Picking up chicks.
Is the three of us
I'm not going out to pick up ladies with you, David.
Just get one phone number. Just one phone number.
Okay.
I bet we would all fail. I bet we were so terrible.
I'll bet I could pull some numbers.
Yeah, well, you get Matt's phone number, yeah.
Look, I didn't say they'd be attractive.
Matt, did you hear that? He just called you unattractive.
He might be the first to agree.
No, I'll be the first to agree. He'll be second. On that note, I've been Dave.
I've been West. We've been the Underdog Journey.
Jesus Christ, we're like twins here.
We'll see you next time. Later.
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. The neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good.